Okay, what's up guys? It's Saturday. Just walked out of a wedding for my friends Patrick and Christy. Congratulations. On the way to the reception, but I wanted to stop by in the room because this morning I had a fresh thought buzzing in my mind, continuing on with this line of things we've been talking about. Allowing God to live inside of you, manifest himself here through your thoughts and words and actions, and through you being able to change reality. Okay, now the problem we get is, because even Illuminists and Freemasons and different kinds of brotherhoods and stuff around the world, they believe in this power within and being able to tap this power and this light within, okay? But the problem is that, yes, we do have many powers within us, in things that are built into our system, things that we can access and use to change things. That's how God designed us. But the problem comes with where the motivation and what it is you're using these powers to do. Because there's only two paths, one of light and one of darkness. The path of Christ is light. Okay, now just like we talked about in the other video, you have a body. This body is made up of 50 trillion to 100 trillion cells, and each one of them are an individual cell with a task to do, a job to do. They're living, reproducing, working. Okay, but the thing is that if each of them lived as an individual and each of them decided what they want to do and used their power and their energy and resources to do what they want, nothing would get done. Your body would fall apart. So the only way that these cells can live and act as one body and actually work together and make something happen here is if all of them forsake their individuality, their individual identity, and tune in to one voice and obey the commands and direction coming from that voice. So for example, me, all of my cells and all of my bacteria in my body, they have to listen to the voice of Dan. My subconscious, Dan's subconscious, is sending out commands, sending out signals, and sending out directions. And each of them are tuned into my subconscious, my mind, and are acting in accordance with that and obeying the things that need to be done. So for us who believe we are in the body of Christ, we are part of this one body and we are called into him, then the only way that is possible and that's real is if we forsake our own individual identity, our individuality, and tune into his voice and do what it is that he's telling us, his directions, his prompts, and forget our plans and our desires. Okay, so you have light, which is that, the voice of Christ, and all else, no matter how good it seems, no matter how good intentions it seems, all else is darkness. All else is coming out of individuality, out of the ego, out of the self, what Paul calls the sinful nature. So even when people donate to charity and go and do different things, if it's coming out of a place where it's motivated out of individual self-will, and not because Christ told you to do it, Christ guided you to do that, Christ led you to do that, you're working for him, remember. If it didn't come out of that, then it's still coming out of darkness. Sorry, it's still coming out of the ego, the individual will, or the mind unillumined. So to say that we are part of this body of Christ, just like if any of these cells want to say they're part of the body of Dan, that means that they are bringing their will into conformity with my will. Their will is only to do what my will is, just like with the Father, Christ, who is the head of the body. Paul says that Christ is the head of the body. It means he's the one up here calling the shots to everything down below, to the body. He calls the shots. He leads you and guides you and tells you what to do with your life. And if it's not that, if you're not living and acting out of that place, then you're living and acting out of your will, your ego, your individuality. And you may believe that you are in the light, but you're not. You're doing good things. You believe in Jesus. You go to church. But remember, Jesus said, many in that day, in that last time, when they're confronted with me face to face, will say, but I did all these things in your name, but we healed the sick and we fed the hungry and we did all these things. And he will say, depart from me, I never knew you. I wasn't telling you to do those things. I had a plan for you. I had ideas for you. I had directions that I was sending out for you, but you continued to do your plan, as good intention, as good as it seemed on the outside. It wasn't coming from me. It wasn't my orders. And so, a word of caution today. If you desire to have Christ reigning within, if you desire to be part of this new life, enter into this body of Christ, that means that you live in submission with Him as the head, and you're just part of the body, in obedience with that.